I don't really look at us winning from an offensive standpoint. Like, I see everybody talking about how bad the shooting is and this shot and that shot and everything, and that's all cool and dandy. I'm looking at us outworking them. Like you said, I think Joel Embiid is gassed. You see it so much in the second half, and I give credit to Philly. They came out and rebounded a lot better in game 2. But still, those most crucial plays, because it is playoff basketball, to get that second, third possession, it changes the game. We just saw it. Isaiah Hartenstein getting that last offensive rebound won us the game.
Yep.
And a lot of the rebounds that I see us get is Joel Embiid being gassed, number one. And I see some possessions, not all the time, but some possessions, I even see him point to somebody to go get it because he's gassed and he's not moving as well. And it's understandable. But the Knicks know that. It looks like it's in our game plan. They're watching film, and our players are being told, Joel Embiid is taking some plays off on that glass. Go get it. And Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. I see Dante DiVincenzo flying in. I've seen Jalen Brunson get to his spot, miss it, get his own rebound. Like, we are crashing that glass at a premium. And this is playoff basketball where every possession matters. And the fact that we sometimes get a second shot, a third shot in one possession, it gives us all of the advantage.
And it just sucks the life out of the other opposing team, especially when you're talking about Joel having to now sit down and play defense all over again. Like, that's draining as a big. As somebody who played big.
I was about to say that. You know about that firsthand.
When I play extra defense and a pick and roll, I'm just like, here we go
and that's healthy you. This is him on one leg.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. I believe in us to be able to close it out and continue to do what we're doing by making that happen, by going out and having the extra plays and really beating them up. Philadelphia is a really good team. I respect the hell out of them. This series is not over by any stretch. All we did was what we were supposed to do. You come out and you protect home court. Until we go to their house and win that game, one of these 2 games, this series is still wide open. They could easily come back and win 2 games at home, and it's a tied series. So I
still think this is a 7-game series. I won 7 games of this. This has been great.
It has
first
been.
2 games.
The coaching, the matchups.
I don't want to see this end. I do not want to see this go 4 or 5. I want to get all 7 of this.
As a Knicks fan, I want to see this go 5. That was my prediction. But as a basketball fan,
7 would be very fun.
7 wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, especially seeing them go out and just have a dog fight in that 7. Oh my God!
In the Garden, that stage.
Yes.
But that's why I don't want to see that, because that Garden, that stage, has guys like Maxey and Embiid act crazy. Because Maxey was putting on the show last night. I got to give all respect to Maxey, and they talking about might not play, didn't participate in the shoot around. I'm reading all those reports like, all right.
They playing chess.
All right. Shout out to Kyle Lowry. I feel like Kyle Lowry's been big in this series with that. He's played like a Knick in this series for them. He's done the extra little work. He's getting his hands in the cookie jar. He's being physical. Every time I look up and we're having good rotations on Embiid and Maxey, it feels like Kyle Lowry makes a big one. At least in the first half, it felt that way. In the second half, I think a little bit of everybody was kind of doinking. But I agree with you. They need somebody who can be that third punch.
Yeah.
Because Tobias hasn't had it. Kelly Oubre, who I think can sometimes be a guy that can benefit from playing at home to fit your role players are better at home. He could have a game. Buddy Hield.
Batum.
And what happened to DeAnthony Melton? At the end of the season, we was doing the streams and we were seeing DeAnthony Melton play. What happened to him?
I couldn't tell you. Just not playing.
Yeah, he's just that's been
maybe
odd.
Nick Nurse just feels like he ain't ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, because I kind of like DeAnthony Melton with this team a lot. I will say though, regardless of how this series wraps, I do still have my Knicks winning it and edging out. I think the Sixers have to be a little careful.
It's saying back for DeAnthony Melton still.
Yeah, the same thing that was bothering him before. So he tried to come back at the end of the season in those games, and it probably re-aggravated it or just wasn't ready. I think the future is bright for Philly, and I hope that and I'm not saying this, but I hope they're cautious, because every game of this series, I look at it and I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a notification that like Joel Embiid is out.
Yeah, because when you see him running up and down the court, like barely being
what you mean
able to
running?
get up, he's literally limping. He's literally limping up
yeah.
the court, and it's like, do I want my MVP caliber player on the court risking maybe hurting his knee even more to where we probably don't even have him next season? Like, I just think that's such a huge risk when you're talking about him putting all that force and labor onto his knees.
Yeah, and I know it's hard too, because without him being 100%, there's just almost no way you can win a championship.
No,
so it's just like, at what point do we kind of fold our chips? So if they ended up going down 0-3 or whatever, I also definitely would not be surprised if I seen them like Joel Embiid is out for the rest of the series.
Yeah, if you go down 0-3, I feel like there's no need to risk it. At that point, the odds are
But they were
completely
saying
out of
during
your
the thing,
favor.
there was like, there's no structural damage. So obviously he's in pain or whatever, but it's like, he
can't make it worse.
Any worse than it already is. But I never like hearing those type of things at all.
Yeah.
No. That's when you have to, as a player and an agent, and like you have to make a business decision for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I agree with y'all. If you go down 3-0, I mean, I love the fight. You know, you definitely want to compete. That's what your job. That's what you're out there to do. And a series is never over until it's over. Just like a game, like the Knicks. The Knicks could have just folded and been like, "Oh man, we down 4. This game is over." But they kept fighting, and you get something magical that can't happen. But because their future is so bright, because they're going to have a boatload of money in the offseason, because you have these rumors of potentially going out there and getting Paul George, which you talked about in the pre-show, you have a chance to be right back next year as one of the top teams in the
I was
East.
say there's no rush. Like I mean, Joel Embiid is still in his prime. There's no question. I think he'd still be an MVP candidate coming into next season if he's fully healthy. Like it's still right there. Tyrese Maxey is young as hell.
Yeah.
So the core is going to be there. You don't got to worry about that.
This offseason, you add a Paul George to this roster. Joel Embiid now gets a lot more time to rest. You can load manage him a little bit more. And then now when it comes playoff time, Joel Embiid is now.
He get low. Paul George get the load management. You forget.
But they both got Maxey. They both got Maxey.